Hey.
Welcome
Back
to
the
After
Hours
Podcast
with
Ricky and
Alyssa.
And we have a very, very, very special guest, returning guest, up in this bitch, Kelly
Yep.
Butts-Spirito,
Woo.
also known as
for
Love
having me.
Kelly.
Again.
I appreciate you guys having me.
We have two things to go over before we dive into Fashion Week. VMAs were last night. I was watching it alone. 'Cause Liz left me, but that's fine.
I went to the promenade. Relax.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it was fun. We're gonna rate the red carpet looks as the game.
That's our
for
game
later.
for the day.
Because I couldn't come up with another one, and I really wanted to rate these. Yeah, number two. The AC above my AC. The AC above my AC is dripping water on mine like a metronome. So if you could hear that, my apologies. Not my fault. But that's not the second thing. Second thing. Actually, no. I can get into this when we talk about Fashion Week. But
Okay.
it's the story both of you guys have heard. Bluebird.
Bluebird.
Jacket blue. Heels blue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways. All right.
Oh.
So, Monday was Love Kelly's second fashion show in New York during New York Fashion Week. Yeah, I was at the Converse store. Kelly, give us a summary of it.
Summary.
I it was either going to be summary or summarize. I just hit myself with the mic, but that's fine.
Yeah, so it was my second season for Fashion Week, and basically had a really dope partnership with Converse where they did shoes for us and had us use their flagship store for the runway space. And it was really awesome. Been working on it for a long time, so it was a special moment.
Yeah. All right, we're going to start with the questions.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm ready.
First one, what is the biggest difference between season 1 clothes and in season 2?
I'd say the biggest difference is, well, there's the two biggest differences to me is quality, and I feel like the vision is more clear for season 2. Like on season 1, a lot of it was handmade. Shout out Milo Rubin, my partner who sews a lot of the clothes. But we were just coming up with ideas. I was drawing them, and then he would like sew them. We would go to the fabric store. We'd pick out the fabric and make them. And so naturally, like when you're making something that's handmade, there's a little bit more like rough around the edges parts, you know. But this year we wanted to really elevate the clothes, so we ended up doing tech packs for like every single one of the clothes digitally, and then not every single one, but the vast majority, and then sending them out to manufacturers and having the manufacturers actually make the clothes.
Okay.
So it was like just like higher level clothing where like they're more durable. Like instead of it being like a puffer jacket that we made that isn't really wearable but is cool for a runway show, like this year, like our puffer jacket, like you could wear it all winter, and it's like actually like would be like standard quality, you know. So that was like a huge difference. And there were some handmade pieces, but a lot of it was actually manufactured by like high level manufacturers, and we just put in a lot of time and research, like finding good manufacturers, which was a big step up. And then I would say another thing, just like I just think for me as a designer, I felt more confident in like what I was trying to accomplish. The first year was just like throwing together ideas, and this year the line was really clear. It was like the line was like a combination of small town. The combination was like the clothing was a combination of like small town looks, like very industrial or like workwear kind of mixed with like elevated sort of academic looks that were supposed to be like more city versus rural, and I felt like it was a cool juxtaposition between the two lifestyles that also mirror the lifestyles that I've lived from Vermont and New York and Montana and all the different places that I've, lived throughout my life. So, yeah.
Okay. What was the biggest mental difference between season 1 and season 2?
I just think confidence at doing it once before. I felt like way more ready to take risks and just go bigger. But I also think the pressure, like definitely season 2, I felt way more pressure than season 1. Like season 1, I think the expectations were kind of low because like I had never done one before, and the space was much smaller, and there was much less press there, and like the people that I was getting hit up by were like smaller accounts and stuff like that. And so this year it was just like a lot more money was involved, a lot more press was there. The physical space was way bigger. I spent way more money on the show, and I took way more time on the show. Like I've been playing this show since before summer, so it was just a much bigger endeavor. So I think I was much more nervous, but I was also more confident at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liz?
So you said you started working on it before the summer. When did you start designing the clothes themselves?
So I would say like April probably
Yeah.
was when we started drawing the clothes, and then throughout like June is when we got like final designs. We went through like a lot of different ideas, and concepts. Like we didn't really know exactly where we wanted to go with it. And then June we locked in all of the final designs, and then we started sending. By the end of June we were sending out the tech packs to manufacturers, and then July was us getting samples back, and some of them came back like
Perfect.
messed up.
Oh,
Some of them
messed
were
up.
perfect, but some of them came back messed up. So like we were literally waiting on the final skirt. You guys see the skirt that Emma wore?
Yes.
So like we were waiting. That skirt was the wrong size. We were literally waiting on the final skirt till 3 days before the show.
Oh, wow.
So like we got it in, or maybe 4 days. It was right before the weekend, and then the show was on Monday. So like we got it in, it fit her. We had to do like a few fixes on it, and then like the show happened. So it was just like July was like mostly getting stuff back, and then August was like refining, doing the final stuff, and like the final. We were also like, I was going back and forth with Converse a bunch throughout the summer. There was like 2 sides of the show that I was trying to sort out, and it was like the design and creative aspect of it, and then on the other side was like the production and actually like physically like doing the show.
Yeah.
So I was trying to juggle both at the same time, and like just like the team's so small, and like and like I have to do a lot of carry many different jobs at the same time. So it's like it was just a lot, but it was super fun. It was a good experience.
Okay. You mentioned your collaboration with Converse. How did that come about?
V-Files. Shout out to V-Files. Shout out Julian and Quay. I was at a party at V-Files, this like after party for this design for February Fashion Week. I had done this. I had met with some people at V-Files that Julianne, the founder of V-Files, had introduced me to. And then there was an after party for all the designers. She had brought in like 6 or 7 designers to meet with some people, and I was one of them. And so we had an after party that was kind of like friends and family of V-Files, and I was like definitely one of the youngest people there. So I was a little bit like, I didn't know what to do, and I don't drink or anything. So I was kind of just like chilling by the bar. And then there was a guy next to me, and I was just like, so what do you do? I was like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I work for partnerships for Converse, And I was like, oh, nice. Like, that's what's up. Like, just trying to make conversation. And then I was just like genuinely curious. I wasn't even really asking for myself. I was just like, so when someone comes to you about doing a partnership, like, what's the best way of going about it? And he was like, honestly, I wouldn't ask for a partnership right away. I would ask for shoes. That's the best way to do it. Because we usually would be way more apt to send product out than to like jump into something. Yeah. And so when I was planning season 2, like without even having Converse in mind, I was going to do a season 2 runway regardless. And I hit him up because we had been talking over the next like months after that. And I was like, yo, would you guys be down to do the shoes for my show? And then he thought about it and he was like, yeah, I think that'd be great. And then slowly, like in the weeks to come, I just kept asking I just kept like throwing shots up like, yo, what about if we did it at the store? What about if we did a bigger partnership? And like he kept being like, it's probably going to be unlikely, but like, let me talk to the team. And then they would learn more about my brand and they would talk to the team and he would come back and be like, honestly, like we really love what you're doing. Like we're down. And then they just kept being like, we're down until it became like pretty much a full on thing. So, yeah.
So you had Josh Richards walking your show, right? How'd that whole process work?
Basically, I had been putting together the list of people that I thought would be cool to have walk in the show, and I was thinking of different like artists and influencers that I feel like fit the ethos of the brand, and also are like I'm a fan of, and I've always just really like thought he had a dope personality, like when I watched his podcast and just like his content, and I felt like he might like rock with the brand. So I reached out to his team, and I was like, yo, I'd love to have Josh walk in my fashion show. Here's like the clothes. Like, would you guys be open to this? And they were like, they were like, hey Kelly, like we'll show Josh the clothes, see what he thinks. And then they were like, he loves the clothes, like we'd definitely be down. And then we just had a few meetings leading up, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. And then that's sort of how it happened.
Love you, Josh. So you said for season 2, it was between manufacturers and Milo, correct? Yeah. Okay. So rough estimate of season 1 and season 2 combined, how many hours did you spend at Milo's making or helping Milo make the clothes?
A lot of hours. I can't even estimate it, like weeks worth, months worth actually. But I think honestly the longest part of the process is designing the clothes. So like making the clothes is a long process, but like designing the clothes is like months and months, because it's like you drop a design, you drop a color and stuff, and then like you see it and like on the digital version, like on Illustrator, and then you're like, oh, this sucks. And like the amount of iterations I went through just to like even get down to like, and it's funny, I've heard this quote, like the best designing is when there's nothing left to take away. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that was sort of my mindset with the clothing, was like I would do all these crazy things, and then the more I would just be like, honestly, what if this like thing was just like mostly red? Yeah. And just it actually, the simpler it was, I felt like the better it looked. So it was a long process, but yeah, a lot of late nights and long weekends and weeks spent at Milo. It's just like getting the clothes together. And honestly, like when I first came to New York 2 weeks before Fashion Week, a lot of the clothes that were done, and I was looking at the collection, I was just like, oh no, like everything's fucking wrong. Like we don't, it's not how I need it to be. So then like the last 2 weeks, we might have done more work than the prior months, because we had to fix so many different things. And I would just like had all these ideas of things that needed, we scrapped like 4 looks. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We had 4 more looks that we just cut out the show because we were just like, these are weak, like this is not good enough. So if you saw the show 2 weeks ago to now, you'd have been, it's almost like not even the same show. So
for the 4 looks, because I have 2 questions going off what you have. For the 4 looks, did you have 4 models already set?
I had a few models set that I had to say I didn't have a place for anymore, which sucked. That was actually like the hardest part of the show. I always hate like having to tell people bad news, disappointing news, but it's just part of it, you know? So yeah, I definitely had to cut a few models, which sucked. And then, but it wasn't all 4. Like I hadn't had the final model list. I had like a rough idea, but I definitely did have to take a few models out of the show, which sucked.
Okay. And you said the more like a lot of designs you had a lot on, and then you took a lot off. Why do you think you didn't do that with season 1?
I just think that I was like more afraid to be bold season 1.
Okay.
Like I thought that having a hoodie that has no design, really, not no design, the design is the simplicity of it, was like, would make it seem like I was like an amateur. I didn't have anything cool to say. But then like now I feel more confident in my creative vision that like the point is that it's simple. Yeah. You know, like that is a skill. It's like with people, I feel like the people who are the most tough, you never hear them talk about how much they've been through. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They just live life with a smile on their face. And then you hear their life story and you're like, oh, you've been through so much, but like I would never even know because you live like it didn't happen almost. Yeah. And I feel like that's how I feel like when you're a bold designer is like the beauty of it is that you don't feel like you have to overdo it. Yeah. It's just like clean and it's fire how it is, you know? So yeah. I feel like I was just more confident in like not needing to over explain myself. Even last year, like I walked out before the runway and like explained the vision of the runway. And this year I was just like, I'm not going to explain anything. I'm just going to have Jax performing. I'm just going to send the models, and then people can interpret it however they want. You know what I mean?
I also feel like this season the clothes were more like everyday type of wear.
Yeah.
Like I remember last year I think you had Mason wearing this like hoodie or whatever that had long ass sleeves that were touching the floor.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not wearing that every day.
Yeah.
But even the one Maji was in, that shit was tough.
Thank you.
Like that could be worn every day. So yeah.
Yeah, I wanted it to be streetwear. Like my whole brand is streetwear. And so I was trying to give like a little bit of an elevated version of streetwear. So like it felt a little bit high fashion, but it was still like something you would see on the street, something you could wear. I want my clothes to actually like be worn by the youth and play a role in culture, not just be like something you see in Vogue and then never see again.
Yeah.
That's not really what I'm trying to do. So yeah.
Liz?
What would you say was the hardest piece or outfit in general to perfect? Obviously, you mentioned the skirt and like the sizing and stuff, but
Yeah.
through the design process, which one was the hardest to make the vision come to life, I guess?
So there was this pair of cheetah pants that we had in the show until the day before the show. And like, yo, I could not get them with anything that looked good. And I was literally joking around being like, or wait, okay. So it was the turtleneck. I don't know if you guys remember the turtleneck that had the plaid pants. And that turtleneck I had with cheetah pants for a while, and I was like, yo, this turtleneck is gonna be the death of me. Like I fucking hate this turtleneck, but I know, but it looks good by itself.
Yeah.
Like it looked good with nothing, but none of the pants worked. And the cheetah pants, I was like, oh, this is like, these are cool without each other, but they look horrible together. And then like finally the plaid pants clicked, and it's the same color tone, so I was like, okay, let's just go with this. And then I had to cut the cheetah pants. I feel like cheetah pants are trending right now, so I was sad to cut them, but
Where do you see those trending?
literally walk around
He's not
Soho
wrong.
and you'll see
Really?
that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
It's like a
have
little
not
micro
seen
trend.
so
Cheetah
much.
print
Yeah,
is
yeah.
making a little bit
Yeah,
of a
it is.
comeback
It
right
is.
now.
That's
It is.
crazy.
Yeah. If you start looking around, you'll start to notice it. But I was like, yeah. So that I would say that turtleneck was just super hard to match with anything. So yeah.
How much help was Kevin in making season 2?
He was enormous help, like literally 50-50, I would say. Like I would literally, that's why me, him, and Milo all walked out at the end, was like, it was truly a 3-man job. Like I would actually honestly say we all put an equal amount of work. We just carried different roles, you know, like Kevin literally was the one sending all the tech packs and communicating with every single manufacturer. So like he was the one that was finding the manufacturers and then sending the clothes to them and then communicating when they were like with the measurements and when they were fucking stuff up. And I was like, most of the ideas and designs were all me. And then I was the one that was like coming up with the whole concept and talking to Converse and doing all these things, choosing the models, stuff like that. And then Milo was the one who was actually making the tech packs. So like I would draw the design and like, and me and Milo always bounce ideas, but like I usually make the final say. So like if I'm like, I want this purple, and Milo's like, I don't know if it's purple. If it's purple, if purple's the right color, we'll talk about it. But if I feel strongly about it, I'll be like, I want it to be purple. And then he's like he respects that. At the end of the day, it is my vision, you know. But he'll give his 2 cents. But he also respects if I could like need to override in the end. But like he was the one that was like making it on like Illustrator, making the whole clothing tech pack, sending it to Kevin, and we were all in a group chat, and then we would. So it was like we all were teaming it, just tag teaming the whole thing. It was crazy, and like it was just like, yeah, there was like it was crazy that it pulled off without a hitch, because leading up, everything that could have possibly went wrong basically went wrong. You know what I mean? But in the end, it worked out, so it was good.
Did Milo ever think you were like absolutely insane for bringing up any of the ideas that you had from this season and last season?
There's definitely been several times where Milo's been like, bro, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I feel like all the guys that work with me closely have times where they're just like take a deep breath and be like, we're just going to let Kelly rock because we know he's not going to take no for an answer. You know what I mean? Like, for example, we were storing the clothes in Yonkers, and they were like, let's just keep the clothes in the city and we'll park the car in a garage. And like we all had been working so hard on these clothes. I was like, yo, I'm not risking some tweaker stealing these fucking clothes the night before the show. So I was like, we're driving them back to Yonkers. And I could just see it in both their faces, like, you're being ridiculous. But they both were just like, okay. You know what I mean? And it was like, there's times like that. Or like the color of Maji's thing.
The purple.
Yeah, like me and Milo were going back and forth about the color. And I was like, it has to be purple. And like, I was just like, and eventually they were just like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's definitely times where I'm just like very adamant about certain things. But like, I feel like that's why we all work so well together, is because they trust me at the end of the day that like I'm saying certain things for a reason, you know? And I feel like I trust them that there's certain things that if they mess them up, like if Milo messes up pants, I can't fix them because I don't know how to sew. So it's like I'm trusting. And at the end of the day, if the show sucks, everyone's like, Kelly, your show sucked. They're not like, oh, you guys suck.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's an immense amount of trust that I'm putting in them, because if the collection's horrible, it's me who takes the heat. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then they're putting trust in me that like if the collection's great, I'll get more of the glory. But they have to respect that. Like we all respect, I think, that we play different roles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
it's a team effort.
Yeah. You said, or you kind of answered this earlier, but how long in advance do you start talking about ideas to Milo and Kev, or just even writing them down?
I would say like all throughout the year we were coming up with ideas. Like I was sending Milo the color scheme that we had in the show of like a lot of red and white originally started because the original theme of the show was going to be grief and the 5 stages of grief. Ooh. Because like this past year I had lost a lot of people and I was like going through that a lot. So I was like, I want to make the color tones like anger and like acceptance is white and like depression was black. So like all the tones were very extreme because that was the original like thought process. And then me and Milo had been coming up with the color scheme. So that was like way before April. That was like February when we were talking about that. And then when I started changing it, where I was like, I actually want it to be more about where I'm from. Because towards the summer, I was starting to feel more like I wanted to tell that story a bit more, because me and Jax have been working on this album together and like it just fit in with everything I was doing. But we kept the color tones the same as the grief and 5 stages of grief. So like me and Milo will text each other. Like if you go through me and Milo's text, it's just like images and images of references. And then, but like it goes for like not just that. Like I'll send, we were literally talking about season 3. Before season 2, I was like, yo, what if we did super like abstract art for our season 3? Like, so we're always talking about different ideas and stuff like that. So yeah.
Damn.
Oh, when did you realize you wanted to get into the fashion industry and start designing your own clothes?
It was always something that I wanted to do when I was like, since I was a kid. But like, I feel like everything that I've been doing with this brand is all like lifelong dreams that I've had, but there was never really a moment of being like, okay, now I'm gonna enter the fashion industry. I was just like, I want to make some hoodies. And then I met Milo and he made fire hoodies and I was like, oh, sick. All right, now we're gonna drop these hoodies. And then next thing I know, it's like I met Julianne at V-Files and I was interning at V-Files. And then I was like, oh, I could actually do a runway show. Why not? And then like next thing I know, I'm like, okay, I guess this means that now I'm doing stuff in fashion. It was sort of like in reverse, I guess. Yeah. And it was the same thing in music where like I just really liked Jax's music. I really liked making videos. And then next thing you know, like I'm trying to figure out how to like do a record label contract, like shit like that. Yeah. Like it was all like a blur, and then next thing you know, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that means that now I do stuff in the music industry, so it was kind of like in reverse,
Yeah.
Who or what is your biggest fashion inspiration, if you have one?
Kanye West.
Okay.
I love and Virgil. I love them together. They're my favorite fashion duo. I feel like it sounds lame to say he's my favorite designer, but like he's just my favorite designer. I was like literally talking to Will about this last night. I just feel like his stuff is just my favorite. Like every runway he's done, I feel like has been like groundbreaking, and I love like just him and Virgil are my two biggest like creative inspirations. So.
Okay.
What advice would you give someone who's looking to get into the fashion industry?
I feel like I'm still figuring it out, so it's like hard for me to give advice, I think, but I guess one thing I've learned is just like don't think that you need anyone's approval to just start. You know, like I think a lot of people have these ideas of like, and then one day I'll like literally I like didn't ask anybody if they thought I could do a runway show. I just like did it.
You just did it.
And then like next thing you know, it's like it's with Converse and Hypebeast is front row and all this different craziness is going down. And I'm like, yo, this isn't even a registered show. Like it's literally not even on the CFDA calendar, but it's like no one even cares. Because so it's like when you just pop your shit, like the right things will fall into place. And I think a lot of people are waiting for someone to be like, yo, you can now start designing. When it's like there's probably a lot of people who are way better designers than me, but they just don't think that they're a designer yet. Like fashion school kids where they're like, well, at some point I'll get an opportunity to design. When it's like, why don't you just put out a line? Like save up a couple $1,000s and make the clothes yourself.
The opportunity is now.
Yeah, I think so. And so I think like you have to put out bad stuff to make good stuff. So it's like, say that I had waited like 3 more years, then my first line 3 years from now would be what I did last season. And it would be worse. Whereas like if I had put out what I just did as my first line, it would have been a way better line. Yeah. But I never would have reached that. So it's almost just like the longer you wait, the more you're putting off making good work, because it's like you have to fail to like edit. You know, like if you put out bad work, then you can take the few things that you do like last year I didn't love a lot of the stuff we made in retrospect, but I loved the pants and the bagginess and like the silhouettes. So I was like, yo, I'm just gonna like take that and do it again. But then like I don't like how messy everything was and crowded and like there was so much going on. So I can refine that, but I can keep like these baggy silhouettes and these like all the pants have a stacked bottom and like, you know what I mean? So it was like,
since even though the show just happened a few days ago, looking back already, what is one thing you would change?
Man, I actually don't think I would change anything about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even the door?
I mean, there's things that like I would say was slightly out of my control, you know? I really just feel like yo, it was a miracle how this came together. Like it truly was a miracle. Like if you guys even knew everything that went wrong, you know, like it was truly a miracle. And so I just feel like it was really like beyond my wildest imagination of like how good it could go. Like when I was playing through like best case scenario, like what actually happened was way better than the best case scenario. So yeah, because
I mean, like only reason I say the door is because, you know, I was there, but I look out and everyone just has their phones up like last year with the RSVPs. That was rough.
I just hide from the door. Like I feel
which
like
is like the best option.
Because the thing is, if I go to the door, everyone's gonna be like Kelly, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I know you guys, and like I'm gonna have to hide, you know. So I just stay away from the door. So I appreciate you guys holding down.
Yeah.
Kevin told me it was like a war zone out there.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
And so many people were like, Kelly told me to come. I was like, yeah, well, Kelly told everyone to come. So you're not pulling any weight right now.
But I definitely didn't expect like that many people to come, because the venue was big.
Yeah,
it was big. You know, it was like 300 something people in a runway. So I was thinking that it was like gonna be a solid space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we definitely got to go bigger next year. But.
Yeah, because Kev showed me the number of RSVPs, and I said,
yeah, it was crazy. It definitely started circulating around the city. Like I'm not even sure exactly how it got like so. Like my Instagram post like of the flyer had like 750 shares. And I was just like, oh, shit, this is crazy. It was like more than double any shares I'd had in the past. So
apparently Paris Hilton knew about it, too.
Yeah, that guy was
Paris Hilton.
Too. There was some guy who, like, walked in, and he was like, why don't I have a front row seat?
Yeah,
and I was like,
told you
I don't even know who you are. And he was like, I'm Paris Hilton's, like, stylist. I'm going to FaceTime her during the show. And I was like, okay, first of all, Paris Hilton doesn't even wear men's streetwear, so like, who cares, bro? You know what I mean? Like, Paris Hilton's not gonna put on my, so it was just ridiculous.
And then you had the Bluebird guy.
Yeah, you want to tell me about? Because I was
Well done.
unaware to this.
Jordan referred to him as Bluebird from Rio. He had actually. I didn't show you what I compared him to, or pulled up the reference picture, but he shows up, and the second he walks in, I was like, oh God, he's gonna cause trouble. And Jordan was like, no, he's eating. And I was like, okay, we have two different opinions right now.
You didn't like the fit?
No. Because like you could wear that to a Balenciaga show. You could wear that to maybe even an Off-White show. But like not to Love Kelly X Converse.
Why is that?
Because a fluffy blue.
Trying to say we're not high fashion.
I never said that.
sounds like you're throwing shade. Man.
No. Why did my no have an accent? I said no.
You're like, you could wear it to the good fashion brands.
No,
not Love Kelly.
like the extreme ones.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like the ones
Off-White is not extreme.
sometimes. Like ones that are gonna be like you might wear to the Met, but you're not wearing to like a red carpet or a music video.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So he had this color.
Mm-hmm.
And then if with these heels and leggings.
I'm not mad at that.
And like I liked the fit, just I don't think not for
You
the
just said
event.
you didn't like the fit.
Yeah.
You
I
just
like-
said you didn't like it.
No. Because I told Jordan this. I said I liked it, but not one on him, two for the event.
Still sounds like you're throwing shade, but
No, okay, whatever. Anyways, then he pulls up and he's not even on the list. And then Jordan goes, because I tell him, I said, you're not on the list. And I tell Jordan that. And Jordan goes, well, you're standing then, in a nicer way, obviously. And he goes, but Paris told me about this.
how many people were claiming Paris Hilton? That's such like a bizarre
and
thing to be
she was like-
claiming.
She was like, Paris
Like,
Paris
who?
Hilton
Why
is
Paris
your
Hilton?
biggest fan.
She was like, Paris
She's
who?
like, send it. She's like, you have to go to Kelly's
You
show.
have to. If you don't go, you're fired.
Yeah,
You don't
like,
go,
what?
fuck you. And then she was like, or he goes, Paris Hilton. And she's like, okay, well, you're still standing. I hate to say that. So then he just gave us a death stare for 5 minutes. Literally walked a good 5 feet. And then just turned around with him and his posse and just stared at us for 5 minutes while we're laughing at him. Because we just thought it was funny. And then he decided to sit front row. And we didn't figure that out until the show started when we sat down. That pissed me off. But yeah, anyways, if you're him, fuck you. I really don't like you. Alyssa, is it my turn or your turn?
I think it's your turn.
Okay. How did you meet Milo and what brought you to choose him as the designer?
Well, I'm the designer, but
Okay.
we
The maker.
co-designed some clothes as well. But I posted on Instagram saying that I was trying to make hoodies like 2 years ago. That was when I was like first trying to make clothes. I posted on Instagram looking for some like a hoodie manufacturer, and then Milo had been following me on Instagram because of the like concerts I was throwing with Jax. Because he like is sort of from Vermont. He has like a Vermont house, and he's also from New York. So he like DM'd me. He was like, "Yo, bro, I think I could help you find a good manufacturer. I've been doing clothes for a long time." So I had like a bunch of people reach out when I posted that, and I was looking through everyone's stuff, and I was kind of like, it's not really what I'm looking for. It's not really what I'm looking for. And then I looked at Milo's stuff, and I was like, yo, this is actually like really fire. This is like good shit. This is what I would love to sort of like make, you know. It was like high quality hoodies and stuff. So I hit him back. I was like, yo, like tell me more about this. This seems great. And then we jumped on a call, and then like, yeah, the rest is history. Like we made those first hoodies and they sold super well, and like they were really good quality. And then I don't know, he was always like wanting to take on more projects, and like we both have the same mentality of just trying to like grow as much as possible. So I think and it was just like was the beginning of a really awesome relationship of like we align well creatively. I think like he's really respectful of my creative freedom, which is really important for me. Like I don't work well with people who try to like control me too much with my ideas. And he's very like he's very good at refining my ideas. And it's kind of like I know Kanye talks about like or Rick Rubin talks about when Kanye brought him Yeezus and it was like 25 tracks long and it was like all over the place and they spent like I don't know like 2 weeks together straight in the studio like making it and into like a cohesive album. And I feel like I'll take all these clothing ideas to Milo, like I'll be sending him all his different shit and then he'll kind of be like, okay, what about this? And I'll kind of be like, okay, that, but I don't like the color. And then, you know what I mean? And then, like, he'll help me actually make the idea make sense. Okay. You know? Whereas, like, I'll have all these ideas of, like, how to bring it together. Or, like, I wanted to do a bunch of leather for the show. There's obviously a ton of leather in the show. And he's like, I actually have been talking to a leather manufacturer who I think could do the vision. But then one of the leather manufacturers was like, not real leather, and he's like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, nah, it has to be real leather. So then like he went and tracked down a real leather manufacturer, you know. And so it's just like we just have a really dope relationship where like when I say something like, nah, it has to be real leather, he's not like it's gonna be fine with if it's fake. He's like, he knows that I'm not gonna be like settling for that, so he's like down to go chase it down. So like yeah, it's awesome. I'm super proud of him. Like he's incredible. Like he's literally a freshman in college. Like, it's crazy. He's going to be so successful. So, you know.
What would you say is the best and worst part of being in that industry?
I think the best part is that everyone wears clothes. So it's like, it's same with music. It's like everyone listens to music. But even more, everyone wears clothes. Like, you literally, like, essentially have to wear clothes. And so, yeah, it's basically, it's something that people apply in there every single day. So I think that it's something that everyone can sort of relate to in a way. That's why I like making streetwear too, because it's like it's something that everyone can have an opinion on. Like if you're making rap music, there's a lot of people that are just like, well, I don't really like listen to that type of music. And so when I do that, I work a lot obviously in rap, so that like, you know, that eliminates a certain pocket of people that don't listen to that stuff. But with clothing, it's like everyone wears clothes. So like everyone can kind of have an opinion on it. It allows me to like create something that taps into a whole different audience, and it's just like a really cool way to express myself. I feel like that's like wearable, it's like interactive, whereas like if people like the idea, they can put it on and actually wear it around, which is like so cool. Like when I see you in the hoodie, it's so cool. It's like my friends wearing something that I like drew up and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And then the worst part is just like really expensive. Like you can make a ton. I've had drops where it's like done incredibly well, but you can also lose a ton of money because if the clothes aren't coming out right, it's just like a money pit because it's so expensive. Like, it just costs a lot to manufacture.
Oh, do you prefer the music industry or the fashion industry?
I really don't like either industry as an industry. I think that, like, I would say the clothing industry. I like it a little more because it's direct to consumer. Like, you don't have labels. I like despise record labels. They're just like the way the music industry is set up makes no sense. Like, there's no way that artists who shouldn't own their own art. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like the fact that in clothing you can sell it and then people buy it direct is incredible. You know, so like I like that better. I think it's like a more fair system. But I think music, I've done way more in music. So like I have way more experience in music. I've worked on far more music projects and I've had a much bigger reach in music. So like to me there's no better feeling than like being a part of something in music and then like hearing the song out and like watching people appreciate the project. Like that's such a crazy feeling. And I think music like I'm a little bit more connected to than clothing, just because like I love clothes, but like it's not the love of my life. Whereas like music, I listen to music all the time and like I like love music. So there's pros and cons to both, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Big question. It's just a lot of words. That's not really that big of a question. Okay, so what is your dream with fashion? Is it keep doing shows in New York Fashion Week and then eventually going to Milan and Paris Fashion Week? Or just become a household name or have certain clothes sold in stores?
Yeah, I think my dream is just to continue to expand it and like become like a household streetwear name to where it's worn by both like the kids are excited for the new drop and at the same time like dope artists and athletes and people are wearing it. But then yeah, I would love to do a Paris Fashion Week show. That's like a big goal.
Bucket list.
Milan would be dope too. What would you say?
Bucket list item?
Yeah, I'd say it's bucket list item. And then just keep doing New York bigger and bigger. I feel like it's such a cool way to sort of express myself, you know? And it's just a dope way to like continue to fuel my business independently. Like I love having freedom within the music industry to do projects that I want to do. And I feel like clothing is a really cool way to like make direct-to-consumer money without having to like get paid out by labels. It just sucks how that goes, but in clothing, it's like you drop the clothes on the website and then people buy it, you know? So, yeah.
The theme song right now is "Bitch Better Have My Money."
Yeah, literally.
Best thing you ever learned from Milo during all this? That could be creatively, mentally, emotionally, all that.
I think he's really good at staying calm in stressful situations. Like, he doesn't really get upset that much, I feel like. And I feel like I've learned that, like, maybe not learned it, but I admire it about him. Like, there's been times where, like, shipments have been delayed or held up in customs, and I've been, like, really frustrated, like, yo, we need, and he's very much, and the manufacturer's frustrated because I'm going off on the manufacturer. Like, I'll be like texting the manufacturer. Like, I'm way more the one, like, I feel like of the group, I'm the one that like gets ideas done.
Yeah.
But I'm also the one that's like bad cop. So like, I'll be the one that's like hitting the manufacturer, like, yo, I don't really care why it's in customs. I need this shipment now. You know what I'm saying? And then so then the manufacturer's like having a meltdown, and then Milo's like, okay, I'll talk to him. And then he's like, what happened? You know, he's like the calm middleman. So
Yeah.
it's like in that way. But with people, I think that like I'm more calm with like when artists are like late or like they bring their entire entourage, like I'll be the one that's like, it's all good, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then some of the other guys might be like, what? Like, you know, whereas I'm like, yo, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like we play different roles again.
Alyssa.
What's the best advice you've received throughout your fashion journey?
Just having confidence, like Julianne from V Files, having confidence and telling your story through the clothing. Those two things. So like she always tells me like you have to believe that you're worthy of selling clothing at a high price.
Yeah.
Like she always gets on me for selling for too cheap. She's like, you need to sell your clothes for more. You need to believe that you're worthy of selling clothes for more. And then she also is like, it's really important to tell your story and continue to tell it, not just tell it. And then once it starts getting traction, just kind of like coast on it. Like you have to continue to tell the story. That's how people stay invested and attached to the brand. So I'd say those two things are the best advice.
Solid. How welcoming do you think the fashion industry is or was to you?
I actually feel like it was pretty welcoming. I don't know if I've really been like, I haven't really broken. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like I've kind of been adjacent. I feel like streetwear is a little bit different than the fashion industry. So like, I feel like I haven't really done much in the fashion industry in terms of like, I don't know if like that many fashion designers who are like doing high fashion like know who I am or anything like that. And I haven't really rubbed elbows. Like only a few. Like I've met with Leonardo Lawson, who's like designed, who was like the head of Yeezy and stuff. Like and Julianne, but I've like V Files is so streetwear that I mostly have lived in that world. I feel like that world's been extremely welcoming. Like I feel like in New York, I've had a much easier time getting support on my clothing than I have in the music industry. The music industry is really hard. that's like the most brutal industry ever. I feel like, you know, it's been definitely a challenge. Like, I feel like the music industry, people are really not welcoming at all. But I think like in fashion, like, or in streetwear, people have been cool. Like, everybody's been really like, the doors have been opened in a cool way. I think in music, it's more like I've had to kick down the door.
Yeah.
You know.
Are there any dream like models you would want for future shows?
Yeah, I would love to have like more artists walk in the show. I had some really dope artists walk in the show this year, but I would love to have like some of my favorite artists like who are like older than me walk in the show. Like, it would be so cool to have like Post Malone walk in the show, or have like, I don't know, like just different artists that I love walk in the show. Lil Baby, or like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that would be like crazy. My hope is to really continue to build the world of like that it's 360. So like the festival, the videos, the fashion. Like, I would love to have like mad rappers walking in the show, like people like Kid Leroy walking in the show, influencers like Josh Richards walking in the show, like merging all the worlds together. And then at the same time, like at the festival, then like they can come to the festival. Like Josh could come kick it at the festival and meet. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to feel like it's all connected. So yeah.
What was the exact story behind season 2, Small Town Dreams, all that?
So I just wanted to basically portray the feeling of being from a small town and then being in a big city like New York, and trying that like feeling of like breaking into the industry, and the only thing you really have is like heart, you know? I feel like for me, like, I don't think I necessarily had like one really specific talent that like was sought after, but I was just I just have been very persistent. So I feel like I've like added value to people's brands and situations and labels and artists and stuff, because I just have worked so hard and gone the extra mile every time. And I feel like that's something that has helped. So I don't know, my whole line was like this like durable workwear, like overall stuff like that, mixed with like academic city type of attire. And I wanted to just sort of like show the journey of like me having to just like work super hard, coming from a place where, you know, I was in high school, like living in a group home, like doing work on a farm, literally on a ranch, like living on a ranch, and then being in New York City, biggest city in the world, like interning for Rock Nation, working for V-Files, like designing for, you know, this runway that's at Converse. Like, that's a crazy sort of juxtaposition. Like, it almost feels like I've lived 2 different lives. And so I was like, this show, I'm just gonna connect them both. So that was sort of the vision behind it.
Kels, could you ever see yourself like growing and wanting to design red carpet looks and music video looks and just like all like higher industry, I guess?
Yeah, I would love to. I think that would be so sick. I have like a dream of being like a creative director for an artist, where I get to like design their looks and design their videos and basically just like do all the creative for them. That'd be super fun. Yeah, so I'd love to. Yeah, I'd be definitely open to any of those opportunities.
So I know season 2 just happened. What's in store for season 3? What's the story for season 3?
I still don't know yet. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
All right.
Just kind of been soaking in the season 2, but I think like I'm definitely trying to make the clothes be a little bit more abstract. But yeah, that's really about it. I really have no idea beyond that.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Groundbreaking. It's gonna be groundbreaking.
Indeed.
It's gonna be trend setting.
Yep.
It's gonna be incredible.
Yep.
Yeah. Any more words?
Unique.
Yep.
All right. Now it's our game for today. I feel like I need to add like game show
mode
music.
Yeah. Jeopardy.
Yeah. But anyways, since the VMAs were yesterday, this episode's coming out Sunday. We are going to be rating the VMAs red carpet looks. So we're starting off with Sabrina Carpenter.
It's dim.
Out of 10. What would you rate it?
I like it a lot,
I'm gonna give it an 8.
I was gonna say 9.
Solid.
I'll go in the middle, 8.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
She looks great.
Chaperone.
I actually really love her look. I'd also give that a 9.
The medieval. The sword is kind of like throwing me, but I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay. I'll do 7.5. Taylor Swift.
It's not my favorite, but I think she rocked it.
Yeah,
I think she
definitely
pulled
rocked
it off.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
I
she
would
did
give
good.
it like a 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna also give it a 7. Tyla.
Fire. I like it. I'm gonna give it a 7.
I wish she was wearing yellow underwear instead of like lime green.
Yeah, it's not actually.
Oh, I didn't
5.
even notice that.
5.
that
I'm
brought
dropping
it
down.
down.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't like
give
that
it-
at all.
I'm gonna give it a 5
I also don't
I
like the
agree
little
with
like
5.
stringies hanging off.
because
Like the phrase.
like I'm fine with the fringe. Now that you pointed out the underwear, I can't really unsee it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sounds-
I saw a tweet about it
It's
earlier.
kind of actually. I don't like that look at all. 4.
Because I'm just gonna give it a 5 because also I wish the necklace and the heels at least match.
Oh my god, wait, now it's down to like a 2.
2.
Because I didn't notice that. Now it's
Two,
yeah.
completely
Terrible.
ruined.
Terrible.
Megan Thee Stallion.
4.
4.
Yeah. Camila Cabello.
I like
4.
that. You don't like that?
It's It's not. I don't like it.
Bring it closer to my face. No, I like it. I give it an 8.
I like
Really?
it.
Eight.
I'd give it a 9
No.
because I saw an interview where she said it was like kind of like she was having a funeral for,
Oh, God.
for like
It would be something like that. Now I feel bad for giving it a 4. Of course, it was a
For, like-
funeral outfit.
for like everything that like kind of has like wronged her in the
Oh
past
God,
couple of years.
just keeps getting worse.
So like
All right, it's a 10. It's a 10.
She's representing her trauma.
Yeah, of course.
Lil Nas X.
I actually like that.
I'm gonna give it a
I'm gonna give that a 9.
2.
I think you don't like that?
No,
I think it looks fresh.
the helmet
4.
is really throwing me off.
It's cool. I'm a fan. I think he's awesome.
I'm not that much.
I
of a
think-
fan.
Why?
I don't know.
He just looks
I
like the
didn't
Pink
like it.
Power Ranger.
I think he's great, and his producer is a great friend and mentor of mine. So like, I am biased, but I like Nas X. I think he's dope.
Why are you playing with my charger? Anyways, I think the helmet is really throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that the issue?
Yeah,
I feel like that outfit is something you would wear.
I would wear.
Yes, 100%.
No.
Is it not?
Not the hat.
Not the hat, but that other.
Not the
Yeah.
jacket either. That looks.
Yes, you
painful.
would.
Okay, you would definitely buy that off
You would
Shein.
100%.
Off of sheets, crazy, but
You would
yeah.
wear that off Temu.
I
That off
think
Temu.
I might if I had a shirt under.
Okay, let's move on.
Or if it was a different color.
Yeah, I think the color's also throwing me
You're
off.
not a pink guy.
No, I'm not. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom.
I thought they hated each other.
They're married and have a child together.
I feel like that's
serious?
kind of basic.
I kind of like it because
I like it.
It
I like
looks
how
good.
like he's letting her shine with like he's in all black.
Respect.
I would give Katie's. I'm gonna say I really like it. I'm not gonna lie, an 8. Orlando's will also give it 8 because he's letting her shine. Just gonna have to cut that part out of your mic.
I think we're getting checked out here, Rick.
Tate McRae.
Ooh, 10. She
10.
looks awesome.
10.
She actually looks really good.
Addison Rae.
I don't
1.
like that.
1. That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna give
I
it a
don't
1.
like it.
I think she tried to have a moment and it
I
really
don't
didn't
like
work.
it.
No, that's
Zero.
awful.
Shawn Mendes, the basic black.
Clean 9. Why did my pen fall down the crack? Yeah. I think he looks clean.
He
but
looks
he also
clean,
looks good in
but-
anything. He's fire.
But I just
Tate McRae looked fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
did.
gosh. And
want more from Shawn Mendes, so I'd give it like a 4.
7.
womp, womp, womp.
There's gonna be so
Ricky,
much
Kelly's
editing.
getting checked out.
Yeah, I know.
I think we need to stop.
No,
Womp,
we still got a few more. Glorilla.
Oh, I kind of like that.
It's not
9.
terrible.
She looks good. She's hot. I
it
don't care.
looks
She's
like,
hot.
Left Eye from TLC.
You don't
on
think she's
Scrubs.
hot? She looks great. Of all,
7.
okay.
Liz, what would you give Glorilla?
Can I see it again? Oh, I said 7.
Okay.
What did you say?
I don't know, but I'll give it an 8. The name of the hour, Paris Hilton.
You know, she's
like
on.
it.
She's on my blacklist now because of that experience. No, she looked good. I'd say 8.
Yeah, I was
8.
thinking 8.
Give her an 8.
I'd say
Womp,
7.
womp, womp.
Flo Milli.
Oh, okay. 7. Although the same thing, like the
She's
underwear's got to
gorgeous.
match.
Does it
Yeah,
not?
7.
It's black
Oh, it's black.
with the white.
Okay, I'd give it a 6 now that you pointed that out. Benson Boone.
No. No.
That's
2.
something Ricky would wear.
No, that's not.
I do not
that's
like
really
that
You
at
literally
all.
have a shirt that's just like
Yeah,
that.
but I wear a shirt underneath. But that V line's
It's a
a
hard
lot.
no for
The
me.
V line's a lot. I don't.
Womp, womp,
Christian Besslorer. He's a director.
5.
Yeah,
Really? I like it.
I think it's an average outfit.
I like it. I'm gonna give it a 7. Teddy Swims.
1.
2.
3.
Halle Bailey.
6.
I like it.
7. I think Shawn Mendes has looked the best so far, and Tate McRae looks
Okay.
incredible.
Halsey. I like it.
Cheetah print. It's having a
See?
moment. Told you.
Cheetah.
I would
7.
say 7. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like a nice cheetah print. I'd say 8. French Montana.
Ugh.
I don't really like the outfit.
It's
one bit. That's
giving,
why
Better than I've seen him
chuckled.
look in a long time.
Did you guys watch the
7.
Jake Long American Dragon guy?
We have a friend named Jake Long. That's really weird, actually.
No, I
No, it used to be on Disney. And
How
he was
many
a
Jake
dragon.
Longs is there in the world?
Is
kinda
it called
crazy.
Jake Long? We'll now have to look it up.
Okay. Liz, what would you rate it?
Guys.
Think about him saying
6.
Montana.
I'll give it a 5. Coco Jones.
Oh,
I like that.
9.5.
I like it.
She
9.
looks good.
10.
DJ Khaled.
He
1.
2.
5.
That's gonna be nice and give him a 2.
I just
bad.
It's not that bad, but it's bad.
Bubblegum.
Lola Brooke.
7.
Actually good. I would say 8.
Oh, it looks like it's made out of silly string.
I miss silly string and I miss silly bands.
I was just talking about silly
Me
bands
too.
the other day.
Colton Haynes, Teen Wolf.
Holy shit, I haven't seen him in no.
I don't like the
1.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
3.
I think without the little like,
Yeah.
yeah, it would have. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Chris
Chris Olsen. Anyways, what do you rate Chris Olsen?
2.
I didn't. What the? Yeah, no. 1. Fuck Chris Olsen, bro. You're Chris Olsen.
No, because if I wore that, you'd be like, yeah, you killed that shit.
These aren't real glasses.
They're blue like
You're a
glasses,
fraud.
dumbass.
Okay, all right.
No. Oh. Carol G.
2.
4.
The Flames is
2.
not good.
Shabuzi.
I
don't hate that.
I don't hate
7.
it.
8.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.
I said 8.
8.
Whatever
Yeah.
you say, Chris Olsen.
Where did this come from? 1 year you're calling me Teen Wolf.
I'm changing my contact name for you to Chris Olsen.
He's gonna call you and you're gonna be like, who is this?
He'll be like, Chris Olsen, you have my number? All right, that is it.
That's it. We're done.
Wow.
We're done. Liz, where can they find you on social media?
Alyssa.o on Instagram.
Kelly Kells.
It's Love Kelly on the gram. LoveKelly.com on the internet.
Liz.
Bless you.
TikTok.
TikTok, It's Love Kelly. Twitter, It's Love Kelly. And business Instagram,
Bless you.
Bless.
Love Kelly PDF.
Yeah. Anyways, you can find me Instagram, Ricky B Rodriguez, YouTube, Ricky Rod Vlogs and Ricky Rod Music.
Instagram at Chris.Olsen.
That's okay. And then TikTok, Ricky Rodriguez 2703. Hello. Sorry for the break in the podcast. For some reason, my mic went out. And then at a certain point, Kelly muted his mic. But yeah, follow us. Yeah. Sorry. Follow us, subscribe to us, whatever. All links will be linked down below in the description. So if any of our audio did not catch our links, go down to the description, click on that, follow, subscribe, like, comment, share, all that fun jazz. Anyways, enjoy the 1 minute left of the episode. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Love you guys. Kels, where can I find you on YouTube?
Love Kelly. And they can find you on YouTube.
You can find us on YouTube, Instagram at afterhourspod.s.
And?
S.
No,
And TikTok.
Alright. Thank you for watching.
Wow, what a great episode. You should probably go and watch again. Go back
Good
to the
night.
beginning and watch it again so that you can see when I chose his name is Rick Olson. I mean, what did I say? Chris Olson.
We've been too serious for too long.
Okay, good night. We're leaving.
Okay, good night. Adios.
Bye.
Good night, Chris Olson. You're signing off.